I guess this is good news because we can all just move on at this point. What's up, universe, and welcome back to the web's first must-see comic and nerd culture show. Welcome to Comic Universe, guys. I'm your host, as always, the kingpin of comic culture, C-Dubs. And guys, we're talking again about James Gunn and Disney and Guardians of the Galaxy. Alright, so over the past couple of days, we've had some news. We've had Marvel talking about trying to back him and trying to get Disney to basically switch their decision and bring Gunn back. Also, as we all know, James Gunn was fired from Disney and the MCU and from directing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 due to some 10-year-old tweets, meaning 10 years ago he tweeted something that was just off taste and he meant as a joke. And unfortunately, with Disney being the type of company they are, geared towards family and children, it just was, unfortunately, they put them between a rock and a hard place, especially with, the parks and things like that. They just had to, unfortunately, make this decision. And also, if they went back on this decision, it meant that they might have to reevaluate other decisions, and if something like this ever happened again, you get this, oh, but it was okay for him, but not for me, type of thing. So basically, that's where we are. As we know, James Gunn was fired for those tweets, and Disney went to bat for him, and there was a sit-down meeting over the past couple of days. Unfortunately, Kevin Feige could not attend it, but it did involve the head of Disney and some representatives of James Gunn, and everything within the meeting supposedly and reportedly went smoothly. Everybody was nice, respectful. Everyone understood where they stood within the situation. And it is basically flat out the unanimous decision by Disney is James Gunn will not be coming back to the MCU and or Disney for, at the very least, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and probably ever. He'll probably never direct another Disney film just due to that. This is a really interesting situation, and this is a little bit more than just a topic on what's going on with Gunn, but more of this society and where we are now in this world, where you can say something, mean it one way, and it can totally be contrived and looked at and looked down on, and whether it's slang or a joke or in regardless of how poor taste the joke is, this is a big deal, and then there's some other questions, someone the caliber of Robert Downey Jr., who clearly has put the MCU on his back. He clearly is the perfect role model in terms of everything they've needed a star to be for this franchise, for this universe, for Disney, representing everything. He does all of, the media, he does all the tweets, the Instagram, he does everything to promote Disney perfectly. But, Robert Downey Jr. has a deep, dark past, if you will. And it's very refreshing to see that Disney did not look at that past and go, he can't be a part of us, because clearly he has changed his life. And there was even a few years ago, Robert Downey Jr.'s son kind of was following almost in that path, if you will, with being sober and things to that nature and having some hard issues come across him and his family. And Disney stuck by him and didn't, just throw him to the wind, because imagine where we would be without him. But unfortunately, this is a situation where we're talking about shareholders and families and things like that. And it just, I understand the situation, and I think all of us deep down understand it. It sucks that somebody did this to him, because it was someone who dug up those tweets and made it aware, whether it was a political agenda or whatever the case may be, a fanboy of another company. I don't really know who dug it up, but it's just very sad that this is the situation that we find ourselves in. And another question is, let's talk all these stand-up comedians. They constantly say and do and tweet things in bad and poor taste, and it's used in terms of for comedy. Do these guys not deserve to have roles in movies or music or to do other things other than stand-up? And are they just unfortunately, going to look bad upon for things that they said just in a comedic role? It's it raises a bunch of questions that we as a society have to think about. This is absolutely ridiculous that every little thing we say and or do is scrutinized, you're criticized. You know, if I wanted to pay homage, you know, or I liked a fashion sense of another culture, you know, there's been stories of girls going to prom, you know, dressed in like a komodo, if you will, or like an Asian style dress, and she was a white American, Caucasian, if you will, and, you know, she was bombarded with people saying, oh, you're stealing my culture. And, you know, we're constantly bashed with, you know, this whitewashing, and there's some merit to it, absolutely. But at the end of the day, you know, if two actors come in and they put on for the role and one does better than the other, to some degree, that has to stand on its own merit, you know? There's so much wrong with the way we view society, especially nowadays, and I don't want to sit here and go, it's the millennials, because it's not just you guys, it's everybody. Regardless of how society has gotten to this point, we are in this point where, for instance, you know, there are some offsuit and bad and poor taste slang phrases that even I myself, you know, have been known to use, and I try not to. A, because of the society we live in, and B, because I understand it may offend some people, and my intent is not to offend you. But once you are offended, that's your problem, man. I mean, I'm sorry I did that. I didn't mean it like that. And if you can't accept my apology, because I truly did not want to offend you, it is what it is. You know, I can't change the fact that I said it. I can't change the fact that anybody said it. It just is, and you need to either deal with it or move on, you know? So, unfortunately, we say a lot of things in society, you know, that come back to get us sometimes. And, you know, sometimes they are with good merit, and sometimes, you know, they clearly were not said in or meant in that manner, you know. And again, this is just a for instance, you know, that it's very common in slang, you know, especially if you're from an urban environment. You know, you may say, you know, stereotype something, you mean something is bad. You may say, oh man, that's gay. I don't necessarily mean that all of that all gay people are bad or are no good. That's by far some of my best friends are gay. So that's not what I mean, you know, when I have said that in the past. And again, I'm not right, okay, but the fact that you get offended by it, it is what it is. You know, or for instance, if you say something is, you know, the R word, retarded, you know, and you just mean that that's bad or dumb, you know, but you don't mean that towards handicapped people or people that face that ailment, you know. It's not meant or said in that regard. But I clearly understand how some things are just frowned upon, but it shouldn't, something you've done in the past should not necessarily define the person you are today, because we've all made mistakes and we all grow as people. Sometimes we grow and get worse, and sometimes we grow and get better. So this is just a very unfortunate situation that James Gunn has found himself in. But there are a lot of studios that understand that he is no longer that person. He has grown. He has matured. He is a man, a master at his craft, if you will. Sorry, I got tongue-tied there. And other studios are reaching out, grabbing for him. So this is a good thing, and I think it's worked out in his benefit in that regard. I personally am championing him. I want him to go to the DCEU and maybe give us a Green Lantern film, you know, or maybe he can jump onto the Flash and he can give us the Flash, you know, or even Cyborg. I don't care. I think he could do a great job for them, and they need all the help they can get. And I don't mean anything to anybody who's a fan of what we've already gotten, but they need all the help they can get, and this is a great opportunity for this to happen for him. You know, but overall, it is kind of sad to see this happen, but at least now we can all just move on from this. Now this brings up another point. Dave Bautista said he's willing to do the film as long as they keep the script that James Gunn has helped produce, has approved, and has ready for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It would be in Disney's best interest to go with it, because not only by letting him go, they did provide him with about an $8 million severance, if you will, in terms of for the script. So, and the movie is just basically ready to start shooting at any point now. Do they go back to the drawing board and redo a script? Do they just borrow some elements from it and then make their own again? Or do they roll with what they already have? And if rolling with what they already have, Does that bring good or bad? You know, so that's another topic of conversation here. Personally, I think they need to keep that script, do that script, keep, you know, people like Dave Bautista and some of the other actors and some of the other people in Marvel that backed him happy that at least they're associating him with the film still to some degree. I think he should get full credit for the script in the credit scene as the credits are rolling. He needs to be labeled in there, personally. I think so. And that would also show that, you know, though they had to do what they had to do, there's no hard feelings. They understand, you know, because again, it is business, but I think this is a great idea. And plus, you don't want a different feel. You don't want too many hands in the pot. You know, as good as Ant-Man was, it could have been better if one director had only dealt with it. For those who like Justice League, it definitely could have been more cohesive if only one director had touched it, you know? And I remember back in the day, the movie AI, that was like half done by Steven Spielberg, and I can't remember who the other guy was. Again, it would be more cohesive if one person touches it, if you will. So we could have another director, and he's going to have his own style and flavor, but at least if the script is still the same, we may still have enough of James Gunn's vision to keep this franchise from feeling alienated, if you will. Plus, the you know, the one thing I would say is I don't want to sit here and say, though I am a fan of Dave Bautista from wrestling as well as in movies, and I am a fan of Drax, the character, and how it's been portrayed on the MCU, though it is different, he has made it its own, and there's a lot of it that I wish would kind of go more into the comic books, you know? So there is something special about Drax in the Guardians of the Galaxy. So if we were to lose him or recast him, it would just be this tarnished stain that every time we've seen that movie or seen the change or seen the new actor or seen the fact that he's not a part of the movie anymore, it would always remind us of this crazy situation and keep bringing this James Gunn and what if scenario. And we want to get past this, so I think by keeping the script and just moving on, okay, is best for everybody involved. But this I challenge to you, universe, that let's not judge people necessarily by all their past deeds. Though your past may help define who you are as a person, my challenge is to you guys is to be a little open-minded, be a little more understanding, and don't take offense to everything out there in the world. Personally, I mean, there's really not much that I could take offense to at all. Like, you know, I'm not a thin guy. You know, if someone called me a big guy, hey, big guy, what's up? I'm not going to get offended. It is true. It is what it is. Oh, man, he's bald. He's losing his hair. Big deal, man. I shave it. I know I look good. Shoot. But universe, it's up to us as a generation and moving forward that we don't chastise and condemn everybody for their past sins. People can grow. People can change. People can mature. People can realize the error of their ways. And then, again, you know, some things are just said maybe in the heat of the moment. You know, I don't take kindly to racism. I don't take kindly, you know, to sexism. I don't take kindly to animal abuse at all. Child abuse, you know, rape and murder, of course. Crime, of course. But I don't necessarily, just because, you know, when you were 16, you did something really dumb and you know, broke into a car and stole a car radio. Does that make you a bad person for the rest of your life? No, it does not. You know? There are some crimes and or sins that, you know, you just can't get past. You know, if you blatantly go, you know, like Hulk Hogan and his comment about African Americans, you know, back in the day, you know, absolutely, he needs to be chastised for in the heat of the moment when it comes out. You know, sure, you need to be like, yo, talk to me about this. What? He deserves an opportunity to explain his situation and explain what he has to say. Now, I think he was completely wrong in what he said and how he said it, and I do believe in the time frame he did mean it, especially since it involved his daughter. Absolutely. Okay? Absolutely. He deserves every little bit that he got, getting kicked out of the Hall of Fame. But if he's going to take that as a learning experience and champion and maybe be an activist for African American rights, okay, then he stands on a bigger soapbox than many people. You know, if he realized he made an error, it's not I don't want to sit here and say he could never change. I don't believe that he could never change. You know? Absolutely not. And sure, it's very easy to say, oh man, he saw everything that he got from saying it. That's the only reason why he's doing it. Sure, absolutely. But it's up to us as a society and us as people to see that the work that he's putting in, if it's genuine or not. Then we make that decision based off of something like a Hulk Hogan. So the same thing here with James Gunn. You know, he said things in poor taste joking. You know, we all clearly recognize that he meant it in a joking manner. Okay? I'm not saying it makes it right, but if we're all recognizing that he didn't mean it in a malice way, maybe we shouldn't have been so quick to, you know, throw the book at him, if you will. So that's all I challenge you guys in the universe, just to be a little more open-minded, judge the situation while you're in it, and, you know, as time moves on from that situation, base these people, you know, that make these mistakes, okay, and these people that, you know, do these bad things, if you will, based off the merits of who they are as a person, where they were to where they are, and where they're going to be. I think we all deserve that. So, universe. Anyway, guys, I rambled on here for about 16 minutes or so. So I'm going to let you guys go. But please, guys, like the video, share, subscribe. Let's talk about it down below. Do you think that we are just always on edge as a society now, that we're quick to chastise people for things that they say? Do you think that we all take quick offense to things now? Let us know in the comments below, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on the video. We're almost at 700, guys, so let's make this happen. If we get to 700, we will have another giveaway for you guys, so let's make this happen. Till next time, guys, I'm your host, as always, C-Dubs, and I'll see you in the universe. Peace. What's up, universe? If you like what you saw here and you want to see more, click the circle icon to be a subscriber. While you're at it, why don't you check out this video that YouTube thinks you'll like? Or how about this one? Or how about the playlist down below, guys? Thanks for the support. See you in the universe.